Today's video, I'm going to be doing some patch panels on this stuff right through here. And all of them's nice and smooth through here where they've been cut, except for this one. So first, I'm going to start off with this body hammer. I'm going to take and tap that down when it's nice and flush. But you don't want to just beat it, but just little taps. Now that I got that about flush, I'm going to take some masking tape and put over each one of these holes and take a Sharpie and outline the holes, and then I'm going to take that masking tape off, cut it out, and lay it on my sheet metal and cut it out to the exact size, maybe a little smaller because you want it to fit in there, but I want it tight fit. Some people like to put it in behind there, but with this structure right there, you can't really do that. Notice how it's got this imprint in it now. So now I'll take a Sharpie, make that same imprint, and pull this piece of tape back off. And then I'll cut out that piece of metal, but I'll have to clean the metal up first because it's rusty. So now that I've filled that in, I'll peel it off, and I'll trim that out, and I should have a perfect patch panel that'll go fit right in there exactly like this. Well, I can't find a razor blade or nothing to cut that out with. Scissors ain't working so good, so I'm just gonna lay it flat on the panel and cut it off with a cutoff wheel. I got all that crusty crud and rust off of this. Which really, this is about the kind of sheet metal you want to use. It's pretty durable, thick, and it's the same gauge that's in my car. So I'm gonna swap the flat disc out for a cutoff wheel. I'll put my little piece of tape there and cut out my piece. Here's the piece I come up with. It fits in there nice and tight, so I might need to clean up the edges on it. But I wanted a nice and tight fit, so I'll probably need to clean it up. And I'll have to definitely clean that where I can weld it, but tack it in there and beat it in there with a hammer to get the same body line. And also, after I cut that, this was the excess, and I think it might be pretty close to it. Thought it was gonna be close, but it's not. But it didn't hurt to see. This panel will probably be the hardest one to make. I might have to just make it flat kind of and blend that in there and do a little bit of bondo or something to get that line. But these are the easy ones. So, like I said before, tape, Sharpie it in there, and I did the same thing. I'll do the same thing for this one. And this one, I'm going to probably have to use a cereal box or something to get the correct template. This side will have to be trimmed just a hair because I cut it just a little too big, but it almost fits. It's just a little tight because over here, overhangs a little bit. I need to take and just lay it flat and trim up these edges and clean all this excess metal off. But that's really all there is to it. Got this cleaned up here, got my metal. Now I just need me the magnet to hold that there. I like using a birdhouse magnet, but I don't have one of those right now, so I'm gonna improvise. Well, I've got it welded in and got down. When you're welding this, you just want to go tack, 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 tack. Keep bouncing around, you know. And you want to turn the heat down really low, because even really low, see these holes, that's where melted the metal because it was thin, but that's a nice sturdy fix. And what I'll do, I'll take some kitty hair and put over that, and then take a look, grind it back down and maybe put a little bit of mud on it. Got this side tacked in for the most part. Gonna grind it back down, see what I'm working with, and probably weld up a few spots, but I'm moving. Well guys, it's the next day. I got me a new bottle of gas, and I went ahead, finish these up, just kind of sprayed some primer on it to hold it over for a little bit until I paint the car. But that looks pretty good to me. I mean, I know it's a little porous, but it kept burning through because this metal can't really, once it's rusty like that, it's just hard to weld onto it, but it'll be all right. I'll just take a little kitty hair, like I said, and put over it. But I'll just have to put a skim coat of bondo on that because it matches the door pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the car back over there, weld this up, and I thought about welding these holes up, but it's probably just gonna blow through and make a big mess. This patch, I found an X-Acto knife. It's broken, but it worked. And I cut out the excess around it, I'm gonna try and fit this up in this corner here, see if that's close to being the same shape. Because if so, it'll save me some work, and hopefully it'll fit perfect or close to it. Sometimes when you're doing this stuff, you just gotta improvise. And I'm trying to trim this piece up perfect along these lines. So I just found this whole junk truck here and vice gripped it down to the bumper. Got this piece tacked in roughly. It looks pretty good except for a little bit of a gap here that I could not fill. So I'm probably gonna either cut me another little piece, slip in through behind the door where I got access, or I'm just gonna weld down. But I think I'll just take a little tiny tab of scrap metal and put in through there. Got that ground down. I think it looks pretty decent. I mean, you're not gonna get them perfect. That's what a little bit of mud's for. But now I'm moving on to welding up these holes on this rocker from where the factory trim used to go. So what I like to do is I take the angle grinder, I go around here with a flat disc, clean it out, and I'll take something like a needle nose and clean up in there and get all that paint off. Because what I like to do, when you're trying to fill a hole with MIG, this is really the best way to do it. You want to take that MIG gun and stick it in the hole and go off the side here and keep arcing off the sides, and eventually you'll fill the hole up. Now, I know that don't look good right now, but I also haven't ground it down yet. Now I got this whole section here welded up, so I'm going to grind it back down. I'm telling you, these cars look a lot better without that trim down. This fender here, since that's pretty thin, so this is thick metal. This is a little thinner, so what I'm going to do on that, I'm going to have this fender back off. So I'm just going to weld it up then, because that way I can put my little copper thing over there and behind it. It's the best way to do it. But if some people mud over this stuff, really I don't recommend doing that unless you use kitty here first and stuff in behind the hole. That'll last a long time, but I'd rather just weld them off. Now that all those are welded in, I'm gonna take this here DA I got on sale at Harbor Freight the other day. It's a 6-inch DA. I'm just gonna put this, I think it's 40 grit on it. And this would be way better than using an angle grinder, because well, y'all can see that right there. See how that curvature is? It'll keep that curvature. And it'll work good. Some people like to take a hammer and dip the holes in before they weld them, but that works too, but my way also works just as good. Well, I got that ground down. Got all those ground down. Now I'm gonna take a can of rattle can primer. Just kind of mist on that to keep it from rusting for the time being. And this, I'm still thinking about this, if I want to do that like that and cut that out. Just got to get a nice, perfect roll in it, which I might be able to do. But this side looks like this has a nice roll to it, which I don't know if I can do that. But I might try, or I might fiberglass it. I'm not sure yet. I'm just going to sit and ponder on that. And hopefully be on the body work on this thing soon enough. So I appreciate all y'all watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And y'all have a good one.